Welcome into House of Horns. My name is Victor Corona, aka Victor Producer, and joining me as always is Gilbert Manzano, who's at SoFi and who does it for Sports Illustrated MMQB. Gilbert, the Rams lose a heartbreaker in overtime to the shorthanded 49ers 26-23. Just a lot of frustration coming out of this game. A lot, the Rams lose on all three faces of this game, Gilbert. So give me your takeaways from this loss to the 49ers.
Yeah, I'm glad we're talking because honestly, I just wrote a whole story about the Rams losing, and I don't even know what the hell I wrote because it was just a game that was a little all over the place, and maybe that's where I start. It's like, and let me know if it's a little too loud out here. I'm here.
Oh, you're good.
I'm in the middle of everything here, so I'll mute if I need to. But I don't know, games like this, games like Philly, even games like Indianapolis where they got lucky to win. This team has a problem closing out games. This team has a problem playing in tight games. This team has a problem playing ahead. This team has a kicking problem. They don't even know how to freaking kick the ball, past the defender's hand. They keep, blocking kicks or they keep disrupting the rhythm for Cardi. They can't protect the ball. The running backs can't secure the ball. The running backs can't catch the ball. And then your head coach gets multiple looks at the 49ers defense on 4th-and-1. And Vic, I got no problem going with the 4th-and-1. If they kick the
Me
field goal
neither.
and the game is tied, I bet you Mac Jones and Kendrick Bourne go up the field and score again and win that damn game. They went for it, but you get a timeout from the 49ers. You get a timeout on your own that you call, Sean McVay, and that's what you call 4th-and-1, a simple run play to the guy who just coughed out the ball. Yeah, and then at least McVay took credit. Sometimes he takes credit. Sometimes he takes the blame just to take the blame. But that
I
was a
like that.
crappy
Yeah.
call. That was an
Mm.
awful call. And he said, "I'm sick. I put my players in a shitty spot." You could tell he was pissed off at himself because he's better than that. That's really the best play that you had on a night where Tutu Atwell got an amazing play. I just remembered that. I forgot about that freaking dime from Stafford to Tutu Atwell.
Yep.
I was still caught up on the 34-yard reception from Tutu that I forgot about the one at the end of the game. How many yards was that, anyways? You can let me know after this rant here. There was a 20-yard play to Davis Allen. There was a 22-yard play to Jordan Whittington. There was a 21-yard play to Terrence Ferguson. You had
Yeah.
options after options after
Oh,
options,
yeah.
and you go to Kyra Williams who can't secure the ball on 4th-and-1. Yeah, this team has a problem, multiple problems, and I don't
Oh,
even
yeah.
know. I don't know where to start, Vic. I really don't because this team should be a better team, but you can't trust them. There you go. That's my theme. You can't trust the LA Rams to win close games.
Yeah, and we brought this up when we talked about Sean McVay having a game management problem. And today, Gilbert, it was everything just came apart here. One of the things, to your point, I really like them going for it on fourth down. I thought he missed an opportunity to go for it on fourth down earlier in the fourth quarter that could have sealed the win. I thought, uh, Shanahan was 3 for 3 in fourth downs. Who I don't remember Shanahan ever being this aggressive. Apparently, he grew some balls this year, and he's like now really aggressive this year from what I saw from some of the 49er reporters. But going back to the Rams here, um, one of the things that you've talked about, like there was no pass rush from the 49ers all game long, Gilbert. No sacks, there was no pressure coming. And so for you to put the ball in Kyron Williams hands there on a 4th-and-1 just made no sense. The reason they've been successful on in the run game, Gilbert, is because they get a lot of light boxes. This was a stack box. When they have 7-man boxes, they're number one in success rate. When the boxes are stacked, they drops to 19. They don't have good success when they try to run the ball. There's also a reason why they keep getting their field goals blocked is because the interior of that offensive line, especially during their field goals, is not good. So there's a lot of complications here, and that's why I said in all three phases they got beat. Gilbert, there was 3 opportunities for them to score in this game, and they came away with nothing. They had a Blake Corum fumble at the 24. They had a Joshua Cardi missed field goal, and they had the Kyron Williams fumble at the 2. you cannot win when you're giving away points. The last thing I'll say about this, Gilbert, I have to give extreme credit to Shanahan because he outcoached Chris Shula. He took him to the shed and just said, he's like, okay, you have a great pressuring defensive line. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna expose you and just run quick action all game long. And he had no answer for it, which to me was just disappointing to see Chris Shula not have an answer for it, Gilbert.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there, Victor. And just to kind of give you some behind the scenes of being a reporter on Deadline, and the close games are the worst because you have to figure out what you're going to write about. You have a little bit of time to crank out the story, and for the most part, I feel like I'm pretty good at it. But today was very challenging because I pretty much had 3 stories written up, actually 4. I think one on Puka Nacua being awesome, and then
Oh
one
yeah.
about Puka Nacua setting up his teammates because the 49ers defense was so caught up on Puka that Ferguson was open, Davis Allen was open. There was a lot of players, like I mentioned earlier, they got open.
Mm-hmm.
And then my third right was going to be about this defense getting exposed. Like, we were making a big deal about the 49ers being shorthanded. We forgot that Trent Williams is still on this team. He's still healthy. He shut down Jared Verse.
Oh yeah.
Like, until Byron Young hit Mac Jones and midway through the third quarter, that
It
was the
was half a
first.
sack with Byron with Kobe Turner.
That was the first time they did
Yep.
anything. And then the
In
funny
overtime.
thing, yeah, so that was for the sack. But the hit
Right.
when Mac Jones went down for a bit, that was in the third quarter. That was the first
Oh
time
yeah,
they
you're right.
actually hit the guy. That was the first time they
Right.
even put pressure on the guy.
True. My
Uh,
bad.
and, and then I was gonna make a joke in my story. I'm like, and then Mac Jones takes your best shot. He still gets up. I don't know where he gets up, and he kind of has a little
Sure.
shimmy. It's like, yeah, that's how you got Byron Young. I'm gonna go back to the sideline. I'm gonna come back and then still light you up with Kendrick Bourne. Like, they had no answers to stop Mac Jones. And when you got a good O line, when you got a good running game like Christian McCaffrey, and like, I get it, Kendrick Bourne is not a star player, but he's a good player. They still have guys like I'm blanking on Demarcus Robinson, not a star, but a good player. They still got even MVS is on this roster. Marquez Valdez Scouten, or I'm already botching his name,
Scanlon.
whatever. Scatlin, there
Yeah.
you go. So like, they had players, they had gamers, and I don't know, the Rams took them lightly, but that defense got exposed. I've been saying it. I'll take the lap here, the victory lap. They're not a good defense. All they have is a good front, and you take away that front, you get exposed. You can't cover. You can't cover Kendrick Bourne with those guys. Even Nate Landman, who had a good game. I shouldn't call him out.
He
He,
balled out.
yeah, but he's not enough. You need more.
Right.
He's a good player, but you can't have Nate Landman and 8 other guys. Or how many you have? 2, 4. I'm losing track. 4, 6 other guys. Whatever. 5. Who the hell knows? You can't just have Nate Landman be the only guy on the back end of your defense. You need to have better DVs, more linebackers. They're not physical enough. And for all this talk about Jared Verse being great, he got destroyed by Trent Williams. I saw him do nothing today. So yeah, you're right. They exposed him. That was a big part of the story here, and that's why I said I think McVay going for it was a good call because they can't stop the Mac Jones. And then something that's simple, it's not even a Cardi problem. The kicker, it's just they don't even let him kick the ball off. They don't. Like you mentioned, the interior blocking is not good. And my colleague at SI, Connor Orr, wrote about this. He said there's an issue around the league because that position is pretty much meant for linemen. If you have injuries on your offensive line, that's going to suffer when you got to block them. And in the kicking game, guess
Yep.
what? No Havenstein today. And Havenstein has been available, and they still can't protect the interior of the offensive line. On the kicking game, that dictated how the Rams played at the end. I remember Matthew Stafford throwing that deep shot to Devontae Adams because they were so worried about the kicking game. Luckily, Cardi made that one. They went into overtime. The missed extra point was crucial. Imagine they were up by a point with the 49ers getting the ball at the 1-yard line after the Kyron Williams disaster. Kyle Shanahan had pretty much sat on the ball. And I know Kyle Shanahan got crap for that, for sitting on the ball. But it's not a bad approach because the Rams are going to screw it up. They have been terrible in close games that Kyle's like, you know what? I'm going to run the ball 3 times, kill as much clock as possible. They can't even kick a field goal. They can't even secure the ball. I'll take my chances here, and it prevailed.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so much. I mean, I have so much stuff for you here, Gilbert. I mean, why was Troy Reader in the game against
Yeah.
CNC trying to cover him one on one on that touchdown? I mean, I and then Omar Spates was just terrible. Also, he was a liability in this game. Like I said, Nate Landman led the team with 12 tackles. One of them was for loss. He was all over the field. I really, he was the best thing about that defense today, and I wanted to make sure I bring some type of positivity. The other thing was Puka Nakua has 52 receptions now in the first 5 games. He just broke another record. This one held by Cooper Cup. In 2019, having the most reception through the first 5 games of a team. So I mean, and then Matthew Stafford moved into 8th place all time in career completions, passing Philip Rivers. So I mean, there were some highlights, but unfortunately, the low lights, they just stand out way too much in this game, Gilbert. And I think part of it too. The last thing I'll tell you about this too, I don't know if you were watching the group chat, but I even said on that 4th-and-1, I run a jet sweep there with Puka Nakua, put the ball in Puka Nakua's hands, and I was just shocked that they didn't do that. And like you said, you made a great point. Why are you putting the ball in Kyron Williams' hands there, especially after he cost you a touchdown uh, earlier in the game? So it's just like you said, you put it perfectly. It's just been, everything kind of finally got exposed here. Like special teams, defense, and offense all came together here, and then the coaching with the game management from McVay as well and his play calling. I mean, I'm sorry, like I know people have said that we're way too negative on this show, but it's just us. Like outside of Brian Smith, like Brian Smith's been kind of calling it, and I give him credit because he hopped on before we even got on here, and he even said, he said, we knew the Rams aren't elite. He said we very easily could be 1-4 at this point of the season, Gilbert.
Yeah, you know what's so weird about this game, Vic? It's like I like that McVay got other people involved. We've been saying here on House of Horns, get Whittington involved, find a way to get Ferguson involved. Even Tutu Atwell got featured a little more. I know I've been harsh on Tutu, but he stepped up twice. Davis Allen got some run there. Even Devontae Adams is playing well too.
Yep.
This was a great game by Matthew Stafford. Like you mentioned, they had no
Oh yeah.
pressure, and he carved them up.
He had
And
5 yards, Gilbert, in the first quarter, and then
yeah,
just
yeah, and he has almost 400 yards passing, which is
yes,
I forgot about that. This game is so wild that
yeah,
But the thing is, I wanted to write about is like you don't get those Stafford numbers without McVay scheming up plays for other people. He knows that
yes,
the tension is on Puka, and what was the narrative coming in? It's like this is a Puka Nakua show. He's gonna dominate, break records, targets all over the place. And he goes the other way. He's trying to get other people involved. I loved it. Even the running game to an extent was doing well. And again, this game was so weird that like, remember when, which is funny, the Blake Corum drop, that was a fumble on Stafford on the record books because
yeah. I saw that.
yeah,
Yes,
I'm like, what the hell? I thought he fumbled. I couldn't figure it out, but it was recorded for Stafford, which I think was kind of a difficult toss, but you still got to get that. You're a running
yeah.
back in the league. You got to
Hit
get
you in the
that.
hands. I'm sorry, right in the
Yeah,
chest.
yeah. It's a catch pretty much. You got to catch the ball. There were some killer drops from both Blake Corum and Kyron Williams. But
Yeah,
on that drive, they were moving the ball so well. That cost them 3 points, 7 points. I don't know, Vic, because they don't know how to kick field goals either. Maybe they cost them
yeah,
0 points because if you end the drive there, maybe you go for a field goal, maybe you miss the thing. Maybe you get a touchdown, maybe you miss an extra point. This team is so damn unpredictable. The
yeah.
small things. The Philadelphia Eagles don't do stuff like that. The 49ers don't do stuff like that to an extent. The Lions definitely don't do stuff like that. So, it's getting to the point where like, yeah, maybe the Rams can still make the playoffs, but don't waste my time with Super Bowl talk. Don't talk about the Super Bowl until you know how to execute field goals, you know how to secure the ball, you know how to win games at the end. But again, it's such a weird game because there was a lot of positives here for Sean McVay. But 4th-and-1, you get 2 timeouts, you get multiple looks at the 49ers defense, and that's what you call up. That's just a bad look. And you could sense it with Sean McVay, the way he talked at the podium. Like I mentioned, Victor, I didn't get a chance to go to the locker room. But you did hear a loud scream or multiple screams from Rams players, just pissed off and frustrated. So I only know that the locker room is pretty down right now. They're pretty pissed off. They let one get away. They let one get away in Philadelphia. They let one get away tonight here against the 49ers. And overall, it's just like I know we're crapping on everything right now, but it's a bad look for the whole Rams today. Like, the whole stadium was covered in red. Like I'm going to keep it real. It was 70-30 at least.
Yeah.
Like you got to do better than that. And it was a home environment, close game, and every time the Rams were like that fourth down, that 4th-and-1, it was loud. And you want your team, your home team, to execute something. I'm not making excuses for Sean McVay. You still called up a shitty call. But it was just a bad night for the Rams all around when it should have been a good night.
Yeah, and the last 3 weeks have been a roller coaster, Gilbert, too. I mean, like you just mentioned, the Eagles, the Colts, and then this game as well. It's just you can play that way and expect for people to take you seriously, like you just said. And it goes back to the stuff we've talked about. The cracks, on this team when they won have, they've shown up. And we continue to point it out and we say, hey, you got to look at some of these things before you crown these guys. Yes, I did give the defense credit, but I also pointed out that that secondary scare the what out of me because of that. And Attila Witherspoon going down, has it changed things for them, and they haven't adjusted since then. And it's just the problem too, Gilbert, is that it's not just one thing. It's been, like we said, it's one side of the one face of the ball that kind of messes up. Tonight it was all three faces, and so how do come back from that? And like Brian Smith says, I'm giving the Rams one more week and calling it a season if things don't change drastically. The problem with that is they might be facing a Ravens team that might not have Lamar. So what are you going to find out about yourself if and then you're going up against another team that is, without some of their players, and are you going to be able to take advantage of it, or are you going to also make the same mistakes you made tonight? And so that's part of the thing too. But you're right, McVay has been great play calling, but it's those little things that you've mentioned. If you're going to win, you got to be able to, pass those tests, and they haven't been able to. And I got to give Shanahan credit again, Gilbert. I mean, he had a great game plan, and then the best thing was he he made sure that he did not have the Rams on the field. They possessed the ball for 40.4 minutes of this game, Gilbert. The Rams only had it for 26 minutes. One last point I'll make here, Gilbert, when I saw the Blake Corum fumble, I tweeted out from our Compass account. I wonder if Sean McVay will abandon the run right after that. He went. They from that point on. I think for a while there, it was 23 of 28 were passes. Gilbert. He was like, "F it, I'm done with the run," and then he goes back to it, and that's what ends up being the thing that burns him at the end.
Yeah, again, it's such a weird game. It's like you show that you're not gonna let the running game lose this game. And then you go for it on 4th-and-1. But I've already spent a lot of time on that. Here's another red flag, and I've been aware of this one for a while. I've been mentioning it, but like all three wins are against the AFC South. Like, what does that really show at the end of the day? You like what you beat the Titans and the Texans, big whoop. You get credit for beating the Colts. I get that. They're a tough team. Uh, but you lost to the Eagles. You lost to the 49ers. What team is this? Like, I know we keep assuming they're gonna make the playoffs, but maybe not be legit a playoff team in the playoffs. But like the Seahawks are 3-1. The 49ers are 4-1 now, right? I think I'm losing track at four
Yeah,
and
they're
one
in the first place now.
and they lost the tiebreaker. You haven't played Seattle once yet. You're going to play them twice. Maybe the Cardinals are better than this team, man. And you know that I'm frustrated with the Cardinals, but they're still 2-2. Like it's not a given that you could win a division. It's not a given that you can get a wild card spot when your own division is difficult right now. Like again, like I'm not sure where this division stands when it comes to the big picture of Philadelphia and Detroit, but they're going to stack up wins. They don't have a schedule as difficult as the Rams, so these games are critical right now. And I get it. You're beating up on the AFC South. You're going to beat up on the Lamar Jackson list Ravens next week, but when it comes to playing the 49ers again, playing the Seahawks twice, playing the Cardinals twice, are they better than those teams? I don't even know anymore, Vic.
Yeah, and I that was our main thing. I said you have to stack up these wins. You can't take these teams lightly, even if you have injuries. And I get it that McVay took the blame for the loss, but you have to call out the rest of the team too. Like Chris Shula got out coached by Shanahan in this game. Your special teams, especially after what we saw against the Texans, they were doing really well, and but that's against the Texans and the Titans. You go up levels against the Eagles and the 49ers, and the 49ers were missing half their roster. I mean, it's just, and I get it, it's a short week, but even with that, you had more players, more better players in this game available to you. And then it just seems like the other thing I found, I forgot about, Gilbert, was that Christian McCaffrey didn't play either of the games last year that they won. So that was a big thing too. Like, part of it was not having McCaffrey, and having McCaffrey this year, I guess, makes a big difference. So, and then, I don't know if you want to get to some of these comments. I don't know if you have to go. If you want to give me a couple more minutes here to get to these
Yeah.
comments.
Let's do a few
Let's-
minutes. Yeah.
yeah. All right then. Um, let's start off. Let me go back a little bit here. Let me go to Gilbert Dixon. Says the defense failed to set the tone early. I'm surprised Shula was outclassed in the beginning. They still should have won the game, but left too many points out there. Yeah, three possessions there, Gilbert, where they could have had points.
Yeah, I was joking that I couldn't figure out, like, remember that like I mentioned earlier, that when the 49ers started at their own one, when Kyron Williams fumbled, I think in my story I joke, I'm like, what would have been the outcome if Shanahan was playing with a 1 point deficit or a 3 point deficit or a 6 point deficit or an 8 point deficit, because they blew that many opportunities to score that many points. Where, like, I lost track of what the game could have really been. Like, they missed a field goal, they missed an extra point. Actually, they had two fumbles in the red zone, I want to say. So, like,
One
and
was at the 24, the other one
okay,
was in the
close.
red zone.
So in
Yes,
theory, they kind of cost themselves over 10 points. Like,
yes.
so that Kyron Williams fumble, if you really kind of talk about the plays before, probably wouldn't have mattered. But because they kept shooting themselves in the foot, it mattered. And then it got to the point where, like, it was just a tie game where, like, he just said, you know what, you guys are screwing up so badly. I'm just gonna sit on the ball and kill the clock, and good luck with that. And again, it's not a bad approach. I know people are trying to rip on Shanahan because he has a history of being conservative, not knowing overtime rules, choking away leads. But, like, today was a night where he could just coast because the Rams weren't doing anything to execute.
Yeah, I think he has. I had the stat earlier. Let me see if I can find it. But Shanahan has blown, I think, at least 10 double digit leads, and he almost did it in this game as well, Gilbert. Let me see if I can find it. But it's a pretty bad stat. Yeah, so most blown double digit second half leads since 2017. Playoffs included Colts 12, Ravens 11, 49ers 10. It could have been 11 tonight. It had McVay
Yeah.
not.
If you want to feel better tonight, Rams fans, just know that you have a Super Bowl and Kyle Shanahan does not as a head coach.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing you can feel good about right now.
Yeah, I'll continue on here with the comments, Gilbert. We have Pokey Barca. He said, "What's good, y'all?" And I think he has a fantasy question, but I was gonna tell you. I know we didn't do
Yeah.
uh, what is it, a TikTok live today, but I ended up going with the Ram stack, and it actually went well because I had Puka, I had Devontae Adams, and Stafford tonight in my other league, so it went well.
Yeah.
At least that was,
I'm the idiot who started Joshua Carty in our
I
league.
saw that. I
Like,
didn't want to bring it up.
he missed a freaking 50 yarder. That would have been five right there. He
Yeah.
lost an extra point, so I could have got, like, at least, I don't know, 8 or 10 points, and that was dumb by me. I know their kicking game sucks, but I honestly fell into the narrative that, like, hey, like, they're gonna score at least something against a so-so defense, and it didn't work out. And then, to be more pissed off, I went with the Rams for my survivor pool, so that really
Yeah.
sucked.
I
I
I
changed from
told
the
Yeah, go ahead.
I
Go ahead.
changed from the Cardinals playing the freaking Titans, and I'm like, the Cardinals are gonna screw me over. The Cardinals always find a way to screw me over, and it was a Rams. So yeah,
Yeah, like I tried talking Megan out of the Rams. Like I'm
oh,
like,
she's
and
gonna
then
do
I
it.
asked, no, no. I was like, I thought about it. I was like, it's just a weird. I just feel weird about
Yeah,
this game. I was like, And so
Yeah.
I'm like, "Did you make a pick?" She's like, "No, I haven't made a pick yet." So I was like, "Oh, thank God!" Like,
I got the super dog at least, so,
yeah,
so
there you go.
that counts for something. Yeah,
Yeah.
but you were
All
going
right,
off
let's
topic.
continue
Yeah,
on here.
yeah.
It says Daniel Calderon says, "What a shit show." He says, "Karen has to go." Rams RPTN. She says, "Right, drives me crazy that they always defer to the second half instead of starting the game with the offense." I've been a proponent on that too. I don't know why they don't do it, but I get it. It's been something since back in the day. They always do that. You always want the ball to start the second half. Gilbert, let me continue on. If you see anything you want to chime in on, please do so, Gilbert. Um, why the hell did we not cover the check downs? And I'm like I said, I mean that was a great game plan by Shanahan. The fact that um, Chris Shula didn't make the adjustment on the short passing game by the 49ers. I just don't understand. Um, Brian Smith says Stafford threw at will against the 49ers secondary. Their D line got less of a pass rush than ours. Stafford had to throw, and I was fine with that. Like I said, my only thing was like, why are you running it there at the end when you've been able to pass the ball? At least if I would have called a play, and I even said it in our group chat, I said run a jet sweep to Puka or run a screen to Puka. Like those have been successful. If you don't want to put it up like down the field. Our Rams RPTN says maybe they'll find a cornerback now.
I'll stop you there. I'm not even sure that's a priority right now. Go find somebody who could block on field goals to protect Cardi. Go find a lineman to do that because right now that doesn't
Yeah,
work
no
either.
Steve Avila again. I don't understand what's going on. Like he's been a full participant and he's been active the last 2 weeks, Gilbert, and they still haven't played him. So I don't
Yeah,
know what's going on with Steve Avila.
yeah.
That's another mystery.
Yeah, the secondary is so bad, but when you can't even have proper execution on the kicking game, it dictates how you play in close games. It was a problem the whole fourth quarter. Losing that extra point was a problem. Missing that field goal was a problem. Like it really dictated the pace of the game for Sean McVay. Like they could have got another first down or more yards to make the field goal easier for Cardi, but they threw some desperate deep shot to Devontae Adams because they were so afraid of the special teams that like it was just a 3rd and 10. Uh, but stuff like that, it gets in your head. You overthink it sometimes. So, but I digress.
Yeah, Daniel Calderon says that Avila was playing. He was on the special team blocking line.
Maybe
That's
it's part.
weird because I
Maybe
didn't. I saw Didich was the starting left guard, but I'll have to go back and check. At least from everybody that I saw said that it was Didich at left guard. So I'll have to go back. But I thought for sure I saw a lot of the B reporters say that Didich was playing at left guard. But I'll go back and yeah, Gilbert Dixon's like, was Avila a healthy scratch? I don't remember seeing him, but I'll have to go back and look at it.
yeah.
I've been wrong before, so it's okay.
I find it hard to believe that he'll be inactive when you have a couple linemen down already.
Yeah, well, I think, yeah, especially with Rob Henderson being out. So,
Yeah,
and then
but
Brian
different
Smith says,
position though. Yeah,
yeah, Duran is bad. Dude has zero interest in tackling. Seems like he only has interest in intercept. Yeah, see, Didich was at left guard. That's what I thought. See, even Brian Smith says so. I maybe he was in on that field goal and I missed it. Maybe that was it. But we'll see. We'll find out if he was. I'll go back and look at it. But um, yeah, we'll see what happened. Brian Smith again. I don't think we can beat Baltimore even without Lamar. Harbaugh is just a better coach. Well, I
yeah.
don't know. He's also blown. I like I said, he's in that note that I just added about the most blown lead since 2017.
Hey,
So
at this point, when you got a team that beat you with
yeah,
Mac Jones and Kendrick Bourne, you never know.
yep. Daniel Calderon says, how do you call that on 4th-and-1? That's insane. One of his worst calls as a Rams head coach.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you want to answer a fantasy question? Pokey Bar City has one here.
Yeah, but I've been
Okay.
sucking right now. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So he's got Goff, Henry, Dobbins, Puka, Laporta, Myers. Bench is Nick, Sean Tucker, Waddle, Sutton, Bucky, and Waller. He says, what changes would you make? Full PPR record is two
Okay.
and two.
All right, go back. Goff starting. Goff is playing the Browns. A little tough, but they'll be okay because
No,
the
they're
Browns.
playing the
Oh, sorry,
Bengals.
sorry, Bengals. No, that's easy. Sorry, that's easy. I
Yeah,
wonder how Goff did with fantasy last week. I didn't pay attention to
yeah.
that. Henry, I think you're okay. Dobbins has been playing well. I'm okay with it. Puka obviously had a good night today. Lad, that's a little risky. Laporta's been a little risky too. Myers benches
I
next.
probably would start Waller over Laporta, and I would start Waddle over Myers, just because Waddle
Yeah,
um, doesn't have to deal with what. Yeah, I know you're.
yeah,
It's the Dolphins, but at least
yeah.
you know
And
they're
maybe
gonna
even
air it out.
maybe even Sutton because he's getting most of the targets in Denver. With Lad, it's been tough because you got Johnston and also Keenan. That's a tough one, at least for me. But I'm with Victor here, and then obviously Bucky is hurt right now, so that kind of sucks.
Yep. Yeah, I have them in my other league. That's why I went with the Ram stack
My whole
tonight.
team, my whole team is on a bye week or hurt this week, so good luck to me.
Oof, that's rough. Delbert says, I've been a Ram fan a long time, but boy, we're in trouble.
Wow,
He,
if Delbert's saying that, you know
yeah.
it's
And he's
a
been positive like
yeah.
throughout, even
Oh
through the
man,
bad years. So,
oh man, Delbert.
it's starting to
That's
look bad.
that's how I know when things are bad is when Delbert kind of changes his tune a
I
bit.
mean, they're 3-2. They're not 1-3 like they were last year. So that's a positive. ESG says it's the Shanahan 10-point lead curse. There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, Let me see. We have Brian Smith again. The only decent unit the Rams have is the D line. Adding a cornerback isn't going to change much. So there's that as well. And then our friend Alonso says, "Hell, I almost picked the Rams in our Survivor Pool. Laugh
I,
out loud."
I hate you, Alonso. A good job that you avoided
Yeah.
that. You're still alive. Hopefully, you make it through another week. But damn, it really, you know what? It doesn't suck as bad because I still feel it in my heart that the Cardinals are going to lose to the Tennessee Titans, and I'll feel better over the weekend.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. And then Brian Smith said, "I believe Avila was playing left guard for the block PAT there, so we'll find out." But
Yeah,
yeah,
we'll
I
we'll
know.
look at it.
Yeah, Rams. RPTN. I always get it. Rams will bounce
Yeah.
back, he says. So there you go. That's the end of our comments there, Gilbert. So a tough night for the all around for the Rams. They lose a tough one against the 49ers. And, now you just, hopefully they. I thought things were bad after the collapse against the Rams, but I feel like this is even worse because you got beat on all three faces of the game. It feels like there was mistakes everywhere in this game. And I guess the fact that you had a bunch of injured players against that against the 49ers, that from them, I think that's what makes it even worse. So they're gonna have to regroup. They got 10 days off now before they travel to Baltimore to take on the Ravens, and we'll see if they're gonna be without Lamar. It sounds like he's still doubtful, but I doubt it. Hamstrings are really tricky, so we'll see how if Lamar's ready to go in next week.
Yeah. Obviously, closing line here. I'm ready to go, but it's like I don't know. It's like baseball. Like you have freaking Shohei Ohtani up there, bases loaded, game on the line, and he swings at the first pitch, and it's like, what the hell, Shohei? And he pops up,
Yeah.
and it's like, Sean McVay, you got 4th-and-1, game on the line, you got a timeout, you got to see the coverage that the 49ers are going to play. You're playing the mind games, and you still call that after your guy fumbled. Like it's like, what the hell was that? It was a dud. He I don't even want to call it a choke job, but like he had a brain fart or a brain freeze, whatever you want to call it. But like that's really what you had, and that's gonna be something that's gonna linger in the minds for a lot of people for a long time.
Yeah, and I mean, I just before we go, Gilbert, I want to give a shout out to everybody that was in the comments. This is probably the most we comments we've gotten this season so far, and I'm glad that people are angry. I mean, fans deserve to be angry, and they came out and they voiced, and that's what we want to hear from you guys. So shout out to Brian for getting this started. We got DJ Fono on there who just checked in with us. ESG, who we haven't seen his comments in a while. Rams RPTN, it's good to see him. He was on there on the preview. Daniel Calderon, as always, our friend Alonso Takanga on here as well. Gilbert Dixon, we haven't seen in a while too. Pokey Varsity, asking some fantasy questions on here as well. So good to have Happy Gilmore also. Just and Delbert, as always, we really appreciate you guys checking in with us. I know Daniel Calderon says this weekend is gonna suck, and I mean, the bad part about it is you got to deal with it for 10 days. And like we talked about, I think we were talking about during game week with the compas a few weeks ago, and how, as a fan, it could just wreck your week. And now you got to deal with it for 10 days, Gilbert. It really does suck, man, because it stays with you. It just changes your mood. And, it's not until you win that next game that it feels like you get that taste, the good taste back. So, it sucks. I feel for you guys, but try to enjoy the next couple, 10 days, and then hopefully they can come out with the win against Baltimore, Gilbert.
Yeah, I'll end it on a positive note here because it's going to be a lot of football that's going to be played. They're going to stack. They're going to stack wins. They're going to be in the playoff hunt, and all you can really do right now is like, yeah, we know they're a little bit of pretenders. We know there's a lot of unknown. There's a lot of things that need to be corrected. But the next time they get a big time game, and I'm trying to think of the schedule where there's a big time game, Vic. Maybe you could refresh my memory on the
I mean,
schedule.
they got the Lions. I know that.
There you go. So next
Yeah.
time when you face the Lions and you go in there and you correct all the mistakes and you beat them, that's how quickly you could change the momentum of your season. So it's going to be an opportunity to change it. Obviously, just avoid having like a freaking 3 or 4 game losing streak. Just keep cruising until that opportunity comes to prove yourself again. You better do it. If not, we're going to keep thinking you're pretenders. But right now, I think they're pretenders.
Yeah, I mean, look, this
I
is
still
what they
couldn't end
have.
there on a positive. Sorry, I still said
Yeah, this
something
is what they
negative.
got
But
coming up.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so things are probably they will they have coming up. They have the Ravens up next. Then they have the Jaguars. That's the London game, right?
mm,
And then they go
that,
on a bye.
that
Then they
might be
get the
tough.
Saints. Then they get the Saints. Then they're at the 49ers. Then they're at
Yep.
home against the Seahawks. And then they're at home against the Buccaneers. And then
There
they
you
go
go.
to the Panthers, the Cardinals, and then they get that December 14 game against the Lions. So
That's a
yeah,
positive. There's a lot of tough games coming up where you could
uh,
show quickly that you're better. And then
right.
if you're beating the Jaguars in London, you beat the 49ers the second time around, you beat the Buccaneers, like you could easily feel better going into the final 2 months of the season. Like you don't have to wait to play another big boy team in 2 months from now and have no idea how you're performing. That's the beauty of a difficult schedule. Again, I'm looking for a positive, but they need to show that they're a better team than what they showed in Philadelphia, what they showed tonight here in SoFi Stadium, even the Indy game that was filled with mistakes. They got to show they can execute and properly win games.
Yeah, that I just thought about that. The post game show for that London game. That game starts at 6:30. I just realized that.
Yeah,
Uh,
we'll figure it out. We'll talk.
I
Yeah.
think we'll have like we started this
Well,
episode here
well,
right before 10
yeah.
o'clock,
Well,
so we might have a. Go ahead. Sorry.
the beauty of the London games, there's always like a 30-minute gap. I think it ends like at
Yes.
9:30 a.m. Pacific, and then you got the
Right.
10 a.m. game. So maybe we can knock it out during that time. It'll be a very quick turnaround for you, but
Yeah.
there's a window there.
Yeah, there we'll see. But yeah, and then Brian Smith says, "Go Dodgers." Yes, go Dodgers. That's so I did see a 49ers reporter say a lot of people at the game today were pointing to their Dodger hats. So I mean, we at least we
Well,
have that.
apparently a lot of Niner fans and Rams fans
Oh, that's true.
support the
That's
same
true.
baseball
I
team.
forget
Apparently,
about that. Yeah, yep, that is true.
yeah. So
Also, ESG says he checked and Avila was in there for the PAT. So we appreciate you,
okay.
ESG, for checking on that. So shout out to Daniel who was right. So thank you for checking us there. And but he did not start the game. I know that for sure. So I know that for sure. All right, Gilbert, get us out of here. Again, thank you to everybody who joined us today on the we'll be back to preview the matchup with the Ravens. Not next week, right? Yeah, next week.
Yeah,
Like I know it's 10 days, but I already forgot.
yeah. It'll be next Wednesday.
Yeah, next Wednesday. So be sure to tune in for that, and can't wait to be back here again on that Wednesday, Gilbert. But get us out of
Yeah,
here and get home safely from SoFi Stadium.
yeah. I gotta get home here. A long night from SoFi, but time to get going. Ya nos vamos, pues. Vámonos.